Welcome to Once Upon a Story. Have you ever not wanted to go to bed? Well, just be glad that when you go to sleep, you don't have to sleep for 100 years like the princess in today's story. Sit back and relax for today's story. Today's story is Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time, there was a king and a queen, and they lived in a huge castle far away. They were happy together, but they really wanted to have children. Every night, they wished that they had a child. Didn't matter whether it was a prince or a princess, but they wanted a baby. Well, one night, while the queen was getting ready for bed, she had a strange visitor. In hopped a frog. Rabbit, Queen, Rabbit, I have a message for you. Rabbit, 1 year from now, you will have a baby girl. Rabbit. And with that, the frog hopped off. The queen didn't know what to make of this strange message, but she hoped that the prophecy was true. Well, it turned out, a year later, she did give birth to a beautiful baby girl. The king and the queen were so excited and so happy about their new baby that they decided to throw a giant party to celebrate. They invited their relatives, their friends, and everyone in the land, even 12 fairies. Now, what the king didn't realize is that there were actually 13 fairies living in the land, and he didn't invite one of them. Yeah, he didn't know. But still, he only invited 12. Anyway, they all showed up to this big party for this baby, and at the end of the party, the king brought the baby forth to the fairies so that they could give her a special magical gift. Now they each gave her something wonderful. The first one gave her virtue, the second one gave her truth, the third gave her beauty, and so on, until 11 of them had given their gifts. Just as the 12th fairy was about to come and give her gift, in stormed the 13th fairy, and she was so mad that she didn't even stop to wait to be announced or wait her turn or anything. She marched right up to that baby and said, "You will be cursed. On your 15th birthday, you will prick your finger on a spinning needle and you will fall down dead." And out she stormed. The parents were upset. They didn't know what to do. The king and the queen didn't want anything to happen to their poor baby girl. So the 12th fairy, who hadn't given her gift yet, stepped forward and said, "I can't take that curse away, but I can make it so that she doesn't die." So, this is what she said. "On your 15th birthday, my dear princess, you will prick your finger on a spinning wheel just as the other fairy said, and you will fall down into a deep sleep, and you will sleep for 100 years before you can wake up." The king and the queen were disappointed that their daughter had such a curse placed on her, but they were very grateful that she wouldn't die. Just to be sure that maybe they could get around this terrible curse, they got rid of all the spinning wheels in the entire land. No one was allowed to have one, for fear that the princess would prick her finger on it. Well, 15 years passed. On the princess's 15th birthday, she was wandering through the castle, looking in all the different rooms, and she'd been in most of them before, but then she found a strange staircase that she had never actually noticed before. She climbed up to the top of the tall tower and found a locked door with a rusty old key in it. This is strange, she thought to herself. She turned the key and opened the door, and in the room was a bed and a spinning wheel. She's like, what a strange room this is. There's a bed, and I don't even know what this thing is. And she went to spin the spinning wheel, and as she went to touch it, she pricked her finger. She saw the drop of blood coming out and felt herself getting very sleepy. And she fell asleep right there on the bed. And as she did so, everyone in the entire castle fell asleep. The king and the queen on their thrones fell asleep right then and there. the servants in the kitchen making dinner all fell asleep. Everyone in the whole castle fell sound asleep. As they all fell asleep, outside the castle wall grew a large bush with thorns and vines that covered the entire outside wall of that whole castle. Now, it covered the whole castle except for the very top of that tallest tower that could be seen from above the vines. But other than that, you couldn't even tell the castle was there anymore. Now, many people had heard about the curse on the princess, and they were going to try to come and rescue her. Many brave princes tried to get through that bush, but they couldn't. The thorns were so thick and the vines closed up as soon as they cut them. They couldn't get through. And so the castle sat, and it sat, and it sat, and it sat. Well, 100 years passed of this castle just sitting there with everyone inside sound asleep. When one day along came another prince from a faraway land, and as he was walking down the road, he met an old man who told him a story of the castle that should be there, but no one could see it because of the vines. He said, yes, supposedly there's the most beautiful princess ever sleeping inside, but no one can get inside. His grandfather had told him this tale, and so he passed it on now to this young prince. And the prince said, well, I'm pretty sure I could get through. I know others have tried, but I'm gonna try. I think I can do it. The old man said, you can try at your own risk, but many have tried and they have all failed. So the prince took out his sword, but as he walked up to the castle, he didn't see vines and thorns. He saw beautiful roses all over the castle wall. And as he walked up, the vines parted and let him through. This was because the 100 years had been up. When the other princes tried, they had to wait their 100 years and couldn't get through. So he walked right into the castle, and he saw the horses fallen asleep right there in the yard, and the dogs that guard the gate fallen asleep. And he walked up to the castle door and he knocked, and of course no one answered, so he let himself in, and inside he found all the servants asleep. He found the king and the queen asleep on their thrones, and the servants in the kitchen that were making dinner fallen asleep right where they had been working. He went and explored every room in that huge castle, which took a very long time because there were a lot of rooms. And finally, he found the staircase that the princess had climbed. He climbed up that same set of stairs and walked into the same strange little room that she was in. And what did he see? Well, he saw the spinning wheel and he saw the bed, but on the bed he saw the most beautiful princess he had ever seen. Oh my, he said, this must be the princess. She's even more beautiful than everyone said she was. So he went over the princess and gave her a gentle kiss on the forehead. And as he did so, she woke up. She stretched. Oh my! How long have I been asleep? That was one heck of a nap. Oh my! Oh, who are you? Who are you? I'm the prince, said the prince. I've come here to rescue you. Did I need rescuing? Asked the princess. Yes, you've been asleep for 100 years. 100 years? Oh my! How did I sleep for 100 years? You were cursed as a baby, and the prophecy came true. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming and rescuing me. You're very welcome, my dear princess. Now, let's go meet your mother and father. So they did, and the king and the queen woke up, and all the servants and the horses and the dogs and everyone in the whole castle woke up and picked up right where they had left off. The king and the queen were so grateful to this prince for rescuing them all that they said that he could marry their daughter if she agreed to it. And of course she did, for he was quite handsome, and she was very grateful that he rescued her. The prince and the princess were married, and they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more great stories. If you have any fairy tales or fables or other stories that you would like me to tell, please go ahead and leave a comment below. See you next time!